computer. Whoa, and I think we're live.
We're doing it live.
Yeah, it says recording. There it is. Hey, everybody, welcome to Dude Comedy Podcast, episode 250-ish, maybe 40s?
I don't know.
Maybe in the 40s or the 30s. But side note, for doing originally 2 a week, now 1 a week, 230, even 240, that's a lot of episodes. At some point, we're going to have as many episodes as there are days in a year. Just saying. Welcome. Kyle's not here right now. We are going to send him an invite. 242. I was pretty close. Kyle, so we had the good idea last week. We saw the episode last week. Had a good time. Filmed it at Kyle's office upstairs. Set everything up after we broke everything. Left the mics there. Now, we'll do it next Friday. Kyle forgets to tell us that he forgot himself. He had a bachelor party in Reno. So he's in Reno right now. We're going to try and get him to call in shortly. But we got Ken still. Ken's back. 2 for 2 for Ken.
Go Ken.
And here we are.
So you got your smart water additive right there. That's selling real well, though. I hear from your Twitter post.
Yeah, I'm not going to use this podcast just to promote myself, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But I am pretty refreshed right now. No, it's actually been crazy. So my plan was August 1st to launch it, do all that stuff. Kyle talked me into doing it a few days early, and so I haven't shot my product video, anything, all that stuff I've always wanted to do because I'm just fulfilling. Stuff's rolling in. People are buying it. People are buying it like crazy. Shout out to everyone buying it. I actually have been writing personal messages. Spoiler alert to everyone that stuff's in the mail right now that just dropped off. Messages in there to the people because I'm like, man, that means a lot, dude. Getting real sappy. They're sending it. I got I got my real labels on here now. Nice and fresh.
Looking good, dude. It tastes good. I got a little bit left. I had it at my desk. I keep freaking using it at work.
I know. I need to get you a home and away jersey.
Definitely home and away.
So to answer the one question that I get asked, and then I won't talk about this again. What's the difference between these two and GameSmart? Well, spoiler alert, it's the same. Everything's the same. Right now it's just the outside label, but in the future what I'm trying to do is go on Amazon, and on Amazon the niches is where you get the riches. So you go in there and I'll have hike, I'll have gaming, I'll have golf, all these people that don't have stuff geared towards them, whereas gamers have G Fuel, Red Bull, all that stuff. So by just calling it an energy drink with one thing, it really limited me. So by having multiple ones, and then down the road, I'm going to do flavor testing and have people vote for what flavors they want next. Dude, I got a really sweet design. I want to do something pink, and then design the label with the Miami Heat Vice Night, and call it Miami Vice, because there's a drink that's a strawberry daiquiri and pina colada. And you mix it together frozen, and it's called a Miami Vice. So if I can get that flavor into this, dude, that'd be sweet.
Oh, sign me up. That sounds good. I bet.
I said, that's it. That's all I'm talking about it. But yeah, Ken. Oh, while Ken's getting us going, I'm gonna send this to Kyle go ahead, Ken. What do you?
So I don't know if you guys saw today. It just broke the Marshawn Lynch video at his training camp. Basically what he did is there was a bunch of kids in the drill. He's got his Family First, great name, Family First football camp that he does, where he gets a bunch of young kids, teaching them how to play football. And I guess some of the kids were goofing off, and so he told these two kids, he said, "Get the fuck off my field, get the fuck out of my drill."
How old are these kids?
They're 9 to 14.
Nice. Okay.
Old enough, right?
Yeah.
Or he said, "You two, get the fuck out my drill, go take a lap." And this mom, of course, single mom, loses her shit.
What was her haircut?
No, dude, she had long hair, but still, I'm pretty sure she had long hair, but I think it's the same. So she basically pulled her kid off the field, took his jersey off.
Was her kid one of the ones that got in trouble, or just?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, took the Family First T-shirt off, threw it at Marshawn Lynch, and walked off the field. So Marshawn kind of chased her down. You can see it on TMZ. They had they all recorded or whatever. and she's just laying. You can't talk to kids like that. And then Marshawn was all super calm and is like, "Hey, is your man here? Is your man here? Is his father here?" And she's like, "What the fuck's that got to do with it?" She's freaking out on him because she's like, "You're sexist. You can't say that. What do you mean is your man here or whatever?"
Yeah, yeah.
So now they spun it into not only is he child abusive, he also is sexist. And this is unreal. It just got me.
I'm gonna go to TMZ and read the exact headline. But dude, it's just that is okay. I got a bunch of takes on this, but to start, okay, Marshawn Lynch cussed at my son, sexist language, says football camp mom. And I see it. Okay, so let me start with the first elephant in the room. Football coaches, football camps, football. Okay, I'm gonna even go a step farther. Just older people than 9 to 14-year-olds when they're like in charge of these things. I did basketball camp, and like our coach was like, "Hey, try and keep good language, yada yada yada." But you get in that moment where you don't know. But I remember being a kid, and I went to football camp right down the street at French Field, and it was like the high school kids running it, and they're not controlling what they're saying to each other like in front of you guys, and you're hearing like this, like them swearing and whatnot. And I hate to pull the whole like that's just the culture like of football and stuff, but like my coach in high school, I haven't watched the video yet, but I guarantee you he yelled more stuff at people than what Marshawn did about get off my field and take a lap.
Right?
Like you can ask Volk, Volk, like Volk was the quarterback. He would get, I mean, this is like we're talking like FAGGIT words and
Oh, the shit that was said to me back. I mean, yeah,
but
back in my day, but it was the same thing. It's not necessarily a culture, but I get it. I don't think that him.
But the thing, yeah, what a.
If I'm Marshawn, I do not want to argue with a female like a mom who are more overly protective, who are obviously she's like in a really bad mood and she's playing mama bear. Like I get him saying because like you don't know what's gonna happen. So I think like his whole thing is like where's your man? Like where's the father? Like let me talk to him where he's gonna be a little bit more calm. Because you could tell the situation was just like not going well, and he kept like.
And for Marshawn's defense, he might just feel more comfortable in a situation where he's, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people might feel like that in a confrontation. Hey, maybe it's easier not to talk to this lady yelling at me right now.
Right.
I mean it's the right thing,
and it's a different culture now than it was even 5 years ago, but. For me, I talk to my kid that way sometimes. Like if he's out of line and he's screwing up, I hope somebody yells at him and tells him like that, like, go take a fucking lap, man. Like you're not go take a lap. And he said, like in his quote, Marshawn said, he's like, there's a time where there's the discipline is push-ups or sit-ups or take a lap or get the fuck out my drill. He's like, it came to the point where I had to say, get the fuck out my drill.
Yeah. So they're obviously not. It's not like the kid was one thing out of line, like goofing off with his friend. He was clearly progressing in the drill enough for it to escalate to that. Yeah, that's weird.
I would be okay with a kid or with a coach yelling at my child like that. I would hope so, because if I'm like, what are you gonna do? Pat him on the back and on the back and give him a medal?
Yeah, dude, it's like it's just crazy that it seems like every day, no matter what happens, what the day before, it's like already evolved into someone else being like canceled in a way.
I bet his camp's over. It'll never be a camp again. Watch.
The thing that's funny with that it being Marshawn Lynch is he probably, like a lot of people do kids camps and stuff to like make money. It's a really good way to make a bunch of money. Like Marshawn is probably doing it because he's like a nice guy, and he's been quoted, or people have said multiple times, like he didn't spend a dime of his NFL money. All he spent was his endorsement money and stuff, which is a ton. So it's like he doesn't need to be out there. It's probably hot.
No, this is 100% his charity, like family first.
Yeah.
Like all this is going back into like the city kids.
It's just crazy, man. That like, and then you always think about like as a kid, you don't want your mom to be the one. Like that's embarrassing.
I guess Ari's a little too young to be yelling at, but like I'll have to get after Bo sometimes. I always tell him like Bo, like he knows. Like
I've seen you when he's done stuff like with when we were at the fair. You were like, all right, we're just gonna go home then, right now.
Yeah. You got to be stern with your kid. Whether if you got to swear, you got to swear. If you got to call him a freaking liberal, then when he really knows, like.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm doomed.
Oh yeah, then he's like, that's when they straight up, you know. That's when you know you're being sensitive. What was
Temperature's weird today, dude. It's like I was really cold for a while, and now I'm like sweating in a long
I'm
sleeve.
hot, but then I'm cold, and then
It's
it's
raining.
muggy. It rained a lot today. It's just
I can't
typical.
imagine living in Florida. I think this is Florida weather, like this kind of humidity and stickiness.
It's like Florida winter, probably though.
Yeah, true.
Florida winter,
With less crackheads. Shout out Florida fans out there.
right?
Okay, what was the next thing you're thinking? By the way, Ken came prepared on this. He's got stuff he want to talk about.
Right.
Most of the time, we just
Well, because so to go off last week's podcast when we were talking, I can't remember the documentary, which I still haven't watched yet. Because what was the one that we were talking about?
the Bob Lazar one.
Yeah, so I went to go watch that one, but I couldn't remember what it was called. So when you sent me a screenshot, I think it might have been you or Kyle of watching it, and then there was a little thumbnail of another one down there, and it was Trump.
That's the one I watched.
Yeah, the Great Hack.
Yeah, I only got
So
halfway through.
I watched that one instead, and it was actually pretty crazy. Like
The start of it was really good, and I started it too late.
yeah, I started watching it, and it's all about the Cambridge Analytica group, how they basically farmed and harvested all of our data without us knowing it. And I can't really blame them. Like, it was us. We opted into like surveys and all these activities, and they were just data harvesting all our interests and stuff to sway the election and the Brexit campaign, whether it's right or wrong. Like, it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting how quickly it was. And I couldn't understand it when it was all going down. Like, I was like, what's this Cambridge Analytica shit? Like, there's so much going on in the world I don't really care. Probably just a bunch of people complaining about something. It was interesting. Like, definitely check it out. I don't necessarily think anything they did was wrong.
Well, yeah, so that's like to go to a little bit of background. So when we did, what was the product we were selling? Kyle and I were selling a product like 3 years ago ish, and these dudes that we were working with, they were like, "Hey, put this tracking cookie on your website, and then anybody that goes to your website, we can like follow them around the internet and track them." And at the time we were like, oh, well, you kind of heard of that, and like you had seen a little bit of it with the Google ads were really good at that. Like, I'm on East Bay, and 4 sites later, here's my East Bay ad. And you'd be like, whoa, how do they know? But like that was just your tracking cookie. It had developed just in that year's time to where these guys could take the data that we gave them and then like pretty much cross. So like if you went to our site, they would like use that cookie and then like go and see like in another platform like, oh, this guy's cookie's also in here, like this is his interest, like guns, Trump, whatever. But like
Amazon product you just looked up.
yeah, but we shouldn't be able to know that. But what was happening is there's basically like a third party company that was like, hey, put your cookies like into this big pool basically. And like now I realize that that's pretty like, I wouldn't say scummy because we never like really used it and it was going to be out there anyway. But I could see how that could be used pretty like scummy because these people that landed on our website were there for like a comedy video and had no idea that we just like took their pixel, you know?
Yeah, well, now you look back, it's like an invasion of privacy. But I mean, even at the time back then, it was so groundbreaking, innovative. There was no laws to stop them from doing.
Yeah. And again, there was like people definitely using it maliciously, and who knows if like the dudes that we were working with would have done something like that. But I remember that like again, the what how do you say it? Canberra?
Cambridge
Yeah,
Analytica.
Cambridge Analytica. Like what they were doing was literally inside of Facebook's ecosystem, like by Facebook's rules. So nothing that they did, which again, like you're saying, it's gray area. Like nothing that they did crossed any line. You just were dumb enough to like fill out the survey to try and win $1,000 iPad for free, and
Right.
then next thing you know, you gave them permission to your friends list, your pictures, your interests,
Every
all that
post
stuff.
you made, they
Yeah,
took
yeah,
advantage
yeah.
of what was trending. And like, so it started out when they were talking like, have you ever, and I 100% guilty of this, like, you could say like, oh, I'm not feeling really well or whatever. Oh, I need some cold medicine. And or,
NyQuil,
yeah,
Dayquil,
yep.
NyQuil.
And then you get on your Twitter feed and boom, there's an NyQuil ad.
Yeah.
But it's all they said like basically a lot of that stuff came from the Cambridge Analytica technology that they developed from the pool and surveys and stuff. Where it's not like they're listening; it's all predictive. They basically predicting they put you into like a pool, like with thousands of other people like that have the exact same interests like you, and they predict your behavior, and
Yeah.
it's legit. Like
And it works.
Yeah, and then how many times you see an ad that like I probably went through like 100 ads today on Twitter, and I don't remember them. It's just the ones that you like. Holy shit! I was just thinking about that, and now
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah.
blanked out and shit like that.
Well, that's the other thing too is like I always joke like, oh, they're definitely listening, they're definitely, which they probably are, but at the same time, like I'm also the type of person who says, hey, if you're listening to like the things I want and you're gonna show me like a discount on the things I want that I'm gonna buy eventually, like I don't really care
Right.
like that. Well, we talked about this in the last one. It's like, oh, Big Brother's watching. Like again, what? Like okay, like that's fine. If they're gonna protect me, do it. Like I don't have a missile I'm smuggling on a plane anytime soon. I don't plan on going to the, you know, do anything illegal. So like
Right.
I'm cool. Like listen and send me discounts on Nike shoes when I need Nike shoes. I would not walk by without pants on. Wife almost walked by with no pants.
I
No,
don't think
she's embarrassed. She had pants on. They're just booty shorts. Well, it's just Ken that would see you now, but then the millions of Do Comedy fans would see you later. But yeah, that's like the weird thing too. It's another not gray area, but it's like if you're not doing anything wrong, what's your problem? Like, who cares?
Right.
Listen to me all you want. Like, you're not getting anything cool from me.
No, yeah, my whole house is smarted out, and like people, my dad especially, he's like, man, I can't believe you just let him into their house to listen like that, and I'm just like, psh, they're already gonna listen all they want. All they're gonna see is like hear videos of me talking back to you or chugging a beer video, sending out, to my friends, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and once football season starts, what are they going to see you do? Sitting in about 3 different spots on your couch,
right?
sometimes standing up.
Speaking of which, the first preseason game yesterday.
Yeah, I do this thing. I do this every year. I think I've told you this before, and you disagree with this wholeheartedly. What I do, I don't watch the first week of preseason, no matter what. No matter what. I don't care. The Seahawks is the only exception where I'll watch like the first if they're going to play, but a lot of times they don't even play, like Russ and all those. But what I started doing is skipping the first week because then it's like draft season, like when you start getting ready for all your fantasy drafts and whatnot. And by like taking that week off, I don't go in with any of so 3 years ago, I'd watch everything and I'd be like writing down notes. The Cowboys' third receiver in this set, like, oh, this guy's a sleeper. And then what I would do is by the end, I would have these drafts sprinkled in through week 2, week 3, week 4 in preseason. And I would have all these like way different teams because I would like, oh, the Jacksonville Jaguars like backup, like third string dude. Like I'm going to take a shot at him. But now without watching like any of those, I just draft like everyone else drafts those dudes and they might get lucky, but I just stick to my board. I do love it though.
I'm complete. That's where I make my
we're definitely opposite when it comes.
Complete opposite strategy on that, but then again, I got that dynasty league that I'm in, which is so much freaking fun.
Yeah, which I love watching it, and I wouldn't mind. But like yesterday's game, I turned it on, and then I was like immediately like, oh, football's back, and then a couple bad plays kind of happened. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna save myself. Like I'm gonna.
It was some pretty damn bad football. Like what was it? Three minutes in, there's already like 3 punts. You're just like in like one fumble off the punt. You're like,
yeah. Well,
whatever.
So that's the thing too. Is like the thing that this is me and you have always seen eye to eye on this point when the idiots will be like, oh, if you put Alabama out there versus Cleveland 2 years ago, it's like, okay, so these dudes, let's put this into perspective. There's 53 people on an NFL roster. Let's say that 22 of the starters weren't playing in that game. Or say they're all completely off the roster. So these are the next 30-ish best guys on this team. They've made an NFL roster, and they're actively playing in the NFL. These dudes that were in that game, some of them are like Bama's guys are still like not in yet on that like core of people. They lose by 50 still to like that Falcons team last night that came.
100%. I mean, you got to look at that. How many there's like 122 D1 teams. There's 105 football players on each NCAA team. Times that by like 20,000 football players.
Yeah.
Only like 150 make it per year.
And then how many actually play?
Good luck. You're pretty much like half of that is completely out within a year or two.
1 sec. I got to decline this FaceTime call.
It's just such a small – it's a stupid conversation. I get it. The Browns were horrible for a really long time. But these are still NFL. These are the best players in college football. and now you've taken them all in a
Yeah.
small 7-round sample size and put them on. Yeah, not happening. Sorry.
And then there's the depth issue and this and that and all that. But yeah, I will say this. This is the one argument I can't get behind, and it's the NBA one, but it's not like taking Team Duke. But if you took Zion, RJ Barrett, Za or Ja, and then the next two guys, and you said, hey, in a game to 21 with whoever the Phoenix Suns, so like the Phoenix Suns put their 5 out, and then those 5 go out there, and you're playing a game to like still a full court game, but you're only playing to 21. You could make an argument that that team could win, but once you can't, like, once you start adding bench players and rotations and stuff like that, like, they're toast. So that's but that's like, I think I stole that argument from somebody I listened to on a podcast, and it was like, oh, okay, I could see that, but like, yeah, even like Duke was like, oh, Duke could go beat the Phoenix Suns. It's like Duke didn't win the national championship.
No, they should, and they should have. I think I picked them and lost terribly, but and that team was good. Like, look how many players they had drafted. It just
1, 3, 6, and 1, 3, 6 just alone. You'd be like, oh, they should win. But yeah, that's like a tough argument for people say that stuff. I always just laugh.
But that just goes to show that, like, if they can't with the 1, 3, and the 6, how deep and talented all those other rosters are, and how competitive college basketball is now. Where if the 1, 3, and 6 couldn't even win the national title, then I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a back and forth, and the problem is we're never going to see it. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, I remember. I think Jay Williams said it would be like Duke could beat them or whatever, and then like my bookie put out the odds, and they were like, we would give them I think it was like 45 points.
Right.
They're like, we'll give them 45 points, and they still wouldn't cover that. No, I think it was 23 points. I think it was 45 against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Against the Warriors, it was 45.
It's the same thing, though, when people are like, oh, like, how many home runs would Babe Ruth have with today's pitching? Like, probably 0.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like one of those weird times, too, where it's like if I went back in my peak and I ran track and field in the 1980s, I would have been an Olympian. But in 5 years in my peak, I wouldn't even have probably gone to college.
No.
Like, it's just ever-changing. You can't compare time zones and people and
eras, all that. It just doesn't work.
This microphone smells funky.
It's a little more muffled. Like, I can hear you clearly. It's just down deeper.
I wonder. Yeah, so this is like the mic I had before the Yeti. I can't find my Yeti plug-in, and then my good set of mics is at Kyle's office. So luckily, for some reason, I have 3 mics. So we're still doing the show.
Is Kyle popping on?
He said he would, but he could be doing anything. So. Funny story. Kyle will probably tell this longer, but I was actually at his house for the fights, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm actually going to Reno for God." It's Rachel's brother's bachelor party, so like all the dudes they're all there from Boise. I guess they must have just picked a central spot. That's why they picked Reno. Because I was like, "You're not going to Vegas. You're going to Reno." But,
people to Reno. That place is horribly boring.
Well, that's like, but people, there's always like different people, different types of parties, this and that, like I personally probably wouldn't want to take all my buddies to Vegas. I would rather just go like muckleshoot.
Right. Or Capallison.
Yeah.
That's actually a story.
This is so Ken and I in the fantasy league, we talk about all the time. This is year 13, year 12, year 13. And our goal from like year 7 or 8 on was like every year we're going to have like a destination draft, go to a cabin somewhere, yada, yada, yada. And we started doing it. 4 years ago was our first one. Then last year, 3 years ago, then last year. And now this year we had everything booked. Really nice place. We booked it super early, yada, yada, yada. That's not the point. Point is one of our dudes had to get emergency eye surgery. He can't go above sea level. He still hasn't been able to go back to work. I still don't think he can drive.
No, so he woke up and he like from like the clock position like 12 to like 3 or 4. He said there was like a black like bulb.
So pretty much half of his eye. No, more than half of his eye.
Yeah, and he said he just couldn't see, and so he went to the hospital or whatever, the eye doctor, and they told him that his like retina or something had.
Yeah, he detached his retina.
And so they ended up finding whatever they do, magic, medical, crazy shit, right? They put it
They put a gas bubble behind it.
Yeah, but they put like nitrogen or some shit into his eye and injected it.
I thought he was lying.
No, dude, this is real. So yeah, so he has his eye patch on, and then he sends us a picture of his like chair bed, and it's basically a massage chair, and he has to sleep face down for like 18 hours a day. Like has to be for what was it, like 2 months? He can't like he can only sit up 6 hours a day. So like
and he can't drive.
He can't drive. He can't go over like above 1,000 feet. So they put a bracelet on that says like he can't be airlifted. He can't go above 1,000 feet. But where we're going with this is so our cabin we booked in Central Washington was at like 5,000 feet. And so he's like, hey guys, this happened. Can we move the cabin? But he only tells us with like a month's notice. So now we have to take this cabin. They're all booked. We
literally spent what 3 hours?
Oh, more than that. And then on top of that, it's like Western Washington. So anywhere cool is on the east side. You got to go over the mountains or it's in the mountains. So we're now booking we actually booked a cabin 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah, it's like 25 from mine.
Like, why am I even, what are we even doing? But whatever. It'll be a good time. We'll have a great time.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like you wouldn't do it unless you like had to, and we're like people are joking now like, oh, what's this like, so like folks like everyone's joking, but once we get there it's like it doesn't matter. We got 2 free kegs and it'll be the same thing. But it is funny that like we had to change that for him, and we
went from a really cool place basically to
like basically one of our houses.
Yeah,
on a ghetto,
extremely boring. There's nothing around there at like I think the closest fast food restaurant's probably like an hour away.
Which sucks because I love fast food.
Right.
But that'll be a good time, and we'll probably talk about the next week. We'll probably still be hungover from it.
Yeah, it's gonna start ramping up. Then when is that? It's the end of the month, right? 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's got to be within 20 days. Yeah, because next weekend is the 9th-ish. So then it's 3 weekends.
Yeah, and I got to go. So it's up.
Yeah. I was about to say, hey, shout out to the people listening right now and everyone who, again, I should have looked if we had an ad. Whatever. So what I want to say is that we had a lot of comments for like the 20 days that we were not doing the show. And again, we explained, which is a bad excuse. You could say we definitely could have, who set alarms for 6 a.m. and did a 6 to 7 show, whatever. So, but people like now are like, dude, thanks for like coming back. And like, it's shocking how many people still like, dude, yeah, good show. Like, no, whatever. Like no one's like shitting on us anymore as much. Probably because Burns is gone. But I was thinking about it and I was like, I probably shouldn't have said on the last show, like, yeah, they, people didn't get their ads read because what if like they didn't know? They probably still will send us a check.
Right.
What are the odds they're listening to an hour and 45 or that was an hour and 30-minute show? Like
that was a long show last week.
And so speaking of us turning over a new leaf, we could have quit 2 different times. When that mic fell the first time, we were 30-something minutes in. And we were like, oh, no, like let's set it back up and get it all figured out. Then my computer froze. And we're like, no, we'll keep going. So, yeah, look at us, dude. We're growing up, people.
But we came back with a vengeance, and here we are a couple days later, right?
Yeah. And this one I'll actually be able to put up quicker. So another funny thing about the last one, which people don't know behind the scenes, is it wasn't like I was sitting on it for fun. It was in 3 files, and then it was in 3 video files, and then one of the files would only render with the video audio. So then I just had to like go to, save it, piece up, open a whole new file, take those 2, drag them in, isolate the audio, then put the real audio over it, match it up perfectly, because if I would have screwed it up, I would have screwed up the video, then save that file, then drop all 3 video files back onto that, and then I uploaded it. So for people saying, hey, this is easy, I mean, technically it was still easy. It just took a lot of render time. But again, we're here.
We got it. Hey,
what else you got? What else you got?
You see your boy ASAP Rocky got freed, dude?
No, he didn't.
Dude, they let him out a couple hours ago. Trump said.
No, he's out.
Dude, he's out, man. So it says.
By the way, before you tell me exactly what it says, I didn't know he was out yet. But when I read what he said on the court, I was like, dude.
I didn't see that, but what did he read? What did he
His
say?
lawyer or him like being personal, he basically was just like he explained the situation. You can listen to the audio of it. He explained the situation. He seems like super remorseful and like also kind of not like taking the blame, which is really good, you know. And he brings up the fact like a lot of this is I'm going to quote pretty much as close as I can, but it says something like a lot of people are telling me that like since I've been in here, I can get a lot of money from like being locked up because I lost all that money, but it ain't about the money. I just want my name cleared. I love this place. I want to come back here. I don't want you guys to be treated differently because of how my situation was handled. I just want my name cleared and like this all to be better. That was like his closing statement. And I listened to that and I was like, dude, he just mic dropped on the whole country. Tell me what Trump said. Tell me what Trump said.
Uh, is it ASAP
Yeah,
Rocky?
it's ASAP. ASAP.
ASAP Rocky. What's his name? Like Flacco something?
That's one of his nicknames. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Flacca, I think.
He's a rapper, right?
Yeah, yeah. Really, he's still very popular, but at one point, 3-ish years ago, he was in his more, what you would say, quote unquote, prime, uh, probably top 5 on people's list.
He's not Waka Flocka.
No. He's not Waka Flocka.
Another Flacco, dude.
So this ASAP Rocky song that you would know is he's featured on the "I Love Bad Bitches, That's My Fucking Problem," which you've heard for sure. That's one of the probably 10 rap songs you've heard. If you heard it, you'd be like, "Oh, this one." Okay. Yeah. So it's him, Kendrick Lamar, Drake. So
So anyway, so Trump says, all right, ASAP Rocky released from prison and on his way home to the United States from Sweden. It was a rocky week. Get home ASAP. ASAP.
Wow, dude.
Chills, dude.
Dude, what? It's so funny. It's so funny now that like he gets to use this. I mean, we talked about this last episode, and we won't get too in depth on it because we see the bigger picture that people don't. But like his campaign, people are just licking their chops. Like, hey, now all of this whole like set of people who used to always talk crap about me, like they can't because I helped. Even if he didn't technically do anything, it doesn't matter. Like he was the president when it happened. He has proof that he tried. So,
oh yeah, even like bringing in Kim Kardashian and
Kanye,
dude, Kanye loves him, right? So now now all these Kanye people are like torn. They're like,
no, ASAP fans too. It's like,
right?
Oh man, but it's funny. Like it's funny. I get my politics from the right side of Twitter when I scroll over and I see what's going on, and it's just funny when you see everyone is even still mad. And like, so what's Mike's side? Democrats. That's who's having debates. Okay, let me ask you 2 questions. Actually, we will talk politics for a second. Why do the Democrats do the Republicans do debates, or does Trump automatically just get to go?
No, because he basically gets he's going to run for re-election. So he's basically they could, like, any Republican could come and challenge him for a seat, and then they could, in theory, do debates. But
there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point. He's running for re-election. That's kind of what he has no challengers. So
I got it.
But yeah,
so like when Obama got reelected, no one went against him.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So what they'll end up doing, they'll have these Democratic convention, or and the Republicans have a Republican National Convention. It's the same thing. And they have all these debates, and with the Electoral College, what they do is, like, when you vote, it's not a popular vote. The Democrats think it should be a popular vote because they would have won, the Bush and then the Trump elections. But so they have the Electoral College. The Electoral College, if you don't know at home, is you basically take states that get a
That's
certain
the
amount.
Seats, right?
Yeah, so you get amount of basically votes.
Look at me, people. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you get the race to 270, which you always see. And to break that down as simple as possible, each state gets, judging by however many people they have, a certain, like, basically votes.
Yeah.
District, and some states have where all the electoral votes go to whoever wins the popular vote in that state, and all those votes go to a candidate pool. Some states have it where, let's say Washington had 20 votes, and it was like 11-9. Only 11 votes would go to that candidate. So what they'll end up doing is, then they'll go to the Democratic National Convention and they'll nominate a challenger, and then that guy will go up against Trump.
Oh, and then that guy will just get dusted.
So that's why they're having
I
all this.
get it. I get it. So okay. So that makes more sense. So, 'cause again, someone who gets their politics from literally 180 characters on Twitter, I was so confused at like why the people on the same team were going against each other and like roasting each other.
Yeah, they're fighting for that number one spot.
And then so they only get to send one.
Yeah, there'll be one.
This is what Hillary rigged last year with Bernie, or last time with Bernie.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
they'll
who do they want to win? Biden?
Biden's the heavy favorite right now. Yeah, for
But
sure.
he'll get torched.
But then you get
who do you want to win?
I want the Tulsi Gabbard girl, the senator from Hawaii.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Super cool, former Marine, I believe. Did like 8 years.
What about the dude that wants to give everyone $1,000? He's just a meme.
Yeah.
He's just a meme. Andrew Yang or something. Wang.
That guy. Yeah,
that was super racist. Sorry, Andrew, if you're listening. Okay. So now it makes more sense because I was like, wait, why aren't these people on the same team? But they're like,
they're fighting for that one.
I saw the meme when the Warren girl, like just roasted that guy. And like whatever, and she's like, "Well, that's why you're running for president." And everyone was like, "Oh,
right. Well, yeah." And then so basically, Biden and Jesse Smollett's aunt Kamala Harris. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, go ahead and Google or DuckDuckGo that. Connection. God, I hate that guy, Jesse Smollett.
So after this happens, then all these people have to act like they're friends with these people, right?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Okay. Because now
I'll have to then go and say I'm going to run as an independent, and then they just
which Bernie did whatever, yeah.
He could very well do.
Okay, so this makes more sense. See, this is good knowledge. Some people are like listening, probably like, "Damn, Colby, you're a moron." I've never known that. I went to school for I don't know how many years. I never learned that.
It's confusing. I mean,
and I always thought like too. When you're a kid and you're growing up, you always think like when you're hearing like everyone's together, like let's be peaceful country and let's be united and have one person. Like in your head, you're thinking like it's Trump would pick like the best person from the other side, and then be like him and that guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or they would run for president, and whoever gets like. Yeah, that's like how I was a kid. I always thought like I never understood that Bush wasn't on the same side as who was the guy that he just torched that was supposed to win and like cried about it. Bob Dole.
Yep.
Or Al Gore, whoever invented the internet.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I was like really confused. Like, wait, why are they going against each other? Aren't they?
Didn't.
I was the ASB president. I literally said, like, my politic career was I'm going to bring strawberry milk to the cafeteria, and there wasn't even a such thing as a mic drop yet, and I literally dropped the mic and walked away. Yeah, so technically I invented the mic drop.
Did you bring strawberry milk to the cafeteria?
I tried. Got shut down in about 2 minutes. literally shut down in 2 minutes.
Was it Michelle Obama's cafeteria program that said no?
No, it was my advisor. It was like, we have no control over what American Services, I think is what the company is. What they put in the cafeteria. I was like, well, what if I
being that stupid though, right?
I was like, what if I contact because Nestle didn't have like Nesquik strawberry yet,
right?
So it was like, well, what if I contact Smith Brothers, which for those people not in this one little area, that's like the farm for Washington. Oh man, look at that guy, dude! You are looking tan, looking fresh. Titleist hat. We can't hear you yet. Now we hear you.
Here we are. What's up?
Dude, you're looking good out there.
Is Ken here?
Yeah,
I'm here.
Oh, I was gonna say, is this a solo?
No. Oh, you're golfing.
We're doing a scramble and the first hole par 5, and we used every single one of my shots and then we birdied.
Jeez. So you birdied.
I haven't played for a bit, but I piped the drive, piped the 250-yard shot out on the back of the green, and then.
And you don't know any of these guys except for your brother-in-laws, right?
Feet. No, I've met I think 2 of them.
Well, I was gonna say they're probably sitting there now, just like they're probably sitting there right now, like.
Well, the thing is, the bachelor put the team together, and he fucking stacked his team.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much just like me. I mean, that was the first hole. We'll see how things go, but he's got like.
Tell everyone about how many White Claws you bought the other day.
Oh, we got 8 packs.
8 packs.
There's only one rule for buying claws is you can't just buy claws. So I got 2 packs of Pacifico. Oh, geez, they're calling 4. Ooh.
This is the other
But yeah,
team.
we started drinking at like 11 yesterday. Then once all these younger guys showed up, they're like wanting to like take shots at like 12. Actually, they had a pretty good. This dude on the craps table rolled for an hour.
No way.
He won everybody minimum like $350.
Did you play? Did you actually play?
No.
Did you do your normal? You didn't play at all.
I didn't do anything.
I love gambling with Kyle when he just does $50 on red, $50 on black.
Yeah. It was a terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
ever,
I
though.
probably won doing that like 80% of the time though.
Yeah. Well, true.
I like how you got your stuff next to it.
Oh, we're not talking about it though. We're not mentioning it the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But
No,
how long have you guys been going?
Probably 30 minutes ish.
Yeah.
Dang.
30 minutes ish. Yeah, well, we figured
All
we
right,
told him that you had to take off, and I was like, I'm using my third backup mic because my stuff's all at your office.
Oh yeah, dude, we should plan like a podcast trip out here. It's so fucking nice.
The Reno spot.
No, it's
That
just
house
Tahoe.
Oh, you're in Tahoe.
Yeah.
Is there a spot we could ride your Razor?
Guy just probably.
Hey Kyle, will you ask a guy on your team to film your next shot?
Well, so maybe later, but like right now, we're one of us.
Oh, I see.
So they're all hitting now, so we're not gonna be hitting for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So, but let me. I'll hit you guys up here in a little bit. I'll probably have Joel do it.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Bye.
It's a par. All right. Bye.
He started cutting out bad at the end, people, but he's gonna try and call us back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still here.
We gotta get that Wi-Fi out there on the golf.
Hey, why does
All right,
Kyle's video look better than ours though? And he's like on the go, mobile, and we're sitting here and like laptoping.
Unbelievable. It's just that sun.
Dude, I miss doing it through. We should do it through this more times. It's so much easier to use.
Well, what's nice about this
all right,
too
I'll hit you guys
yeah. Okay, see ya.
Bye.
So
what
the ASB. So you were ASB president, yeah?
Yeah, yep.
So I tried to when I was in school. I wanted to run for everything. I was just gonna run.
Oh, run for all of them.
For like president, vice president, like this treasurer and secretary and shit. And like I like filled all the forms out. I went to turn it in, and she was, you can't do that. And I was like, why? Like, what? She's like, what if you win them all? I was like, well, obviously I'll do them all.
Yeah, then I have all the power.
Yeah, right. I could do anything I wanted to. Like I literally will set the whole school. You know.
Yeah.
And then she wouldn't let me do it, so then I didn't.
Did you withdraw from all of them?
I withdraw from all of them. She wouldn't let me run into
so
like
funny.
all of them. Screw that lady. She's
well, yeah, one or all, dude. That's so funny.
Right.
I actually still not to this day, like I don't lose sleep over it, but I do feel kind of guilty that like the other girl definitely like put some thought and effort and like campaigned and stuff, and I was just like kind of like
strawberry milk.
yeah, and like I do kind of feel bad, you know, like maybe but at the same time, like I didn't need to like do any of that stuff. Like I knew a majority of the school already just from just being annoying and talking to everybody. Like,
dude, you feel bad? So I was like a dick in high school. Apologies to I can't even remember the girl that we did this to. So we had our buddy Jeff. I won't say his last name. Jeff. He ended up running for ASB president. And we love this kid. Super nice guy. Well, he had a challenger, this girl that came up there, and she was way more inclined, like way more capable, would have been a way better president. That's her boy, right? So we went and got a bunch of newspapers. We handed out newspapers to all, like 100 people, all our buddies, right, that were supporting Jeff. And so Jeff gives a speech. We're going wild. This girl stands up in the podium from the whole school. She goes to give her speech, and we all pull the newspapers out.
Oh, no. So like they used to do when they would have like the basketball announcements. Oh,
beach, dude. And then that same lady that denied me, I don't even think she's alive.
That's a pretty good troll move to think of back then,
right? Yeah. And so she all 100 of us, dude, marched us into the freaking school office and suspended us all.
Would you get a day?
Most of them all got sent home for the rest of the day, but then they came after like the ringleaders, which I think Nick might even have been on. I'll have to ask him. I think he was in on that. There was a couple of us. We got like 2 or 3 days. Like the rest of the week, we got sent home. My dad was so pissed, and then he thought it was the funniest damn thing when we got home.
Well, that's like, it's such a weird thing to like suspend someone from school from that. Like, I get you have to like prove a point and whatnot, but at the same time, like, you're just sending them home. Like, what's cool,
But in
whatever.
theory, I could have argued you suspended me for reading a paper during an assembly.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fucked up, though.
Man, I just realized the text on this is, oh no, it's not too tiny.
Who reads that shit anyways?
It was funny. That's like, so for
I put that in my body and you didn't even have a label on it.
Yeah, that's true. So did my neighbor. My neighbor is like, hey, can I get another one? I'm like, dude, it's been 7 days. And he's like, well, I have one in the morning and before I go to work at night because he works night shifts. I'm like, bro, you're going to die. I'm going to get poisoned. I was like, literally, it says don't exceed 2. What I was going to say, so like everyone who wants to start like a supplement and stuff like that, do it the white label way. Do not create your own because there's so many little things. So like you have to pay for this little box right here that says like, oh, this not been evaluated by the FDA. Like you have to like made in USA, GMP, cert compliant like facility. All this stuff is like you need it on there, but if you don't put it on there, then like you're liable. So it's like there's so many uphill things, and like everything has to read like a certain way. So like dietary supplement and like the net weight has to be bolder than other text. So I had to like keep sending updates to my people, and they're like, "Oh no, make this bigger, make this smaller." And by the end of it, I'm like, "This is a whole new label."
So did you? I don't even know how you understand. Like, did you just Google all that shit? Like, how would you know you have to have this on? Or did you have like a company that was telling you?
So yeah, it's like a little bit of both. So like I would kind of take, so like I wasn't exaggerating when I said like I spent thousands on research and development. So like I would buy like 2, 3, 4, like I would buy other people's products and see what they put on stuff and then like try it and see what I liked and didn't like. So like for this ghost one, I noticed that they had a big thing about how much caffeine you should have in a day. So I would send them a message, my lab, my factory, manufacturing people, whatever you want to call them. And I would say, hey, do I need this? And they're like, that's not required, but it's not bad to put on there that, this is 200 milligrams of caffeine and you're only supposed to have 300 in a a day technically, but that's not really true.
Okay, a cup of coffee is like 100, right?
So it's weird. So cup of coffees are it's interesting because if you say a cup of coffee, that means they consider that an 8-ounce cup of coffee, and that's 90. But there's nobody who drinks an 8-ounce cup of coffee. Like people are getting a tall or a venti or whatever.
Oh yeah, you go to Starbucks and people will be like, I need like 12 shots.
Yeah, so a shot of espresso, I believe, is 125. I would look it up. I don't want to script the recording. I believe like a pure espresso is like 125 milligrams. And then like they say a normal Starbucks 16-ounce cup of coffee is about 120 to 140, just depending on it. So it's like mine's 200. This ghost one is 301 scoop.
So yours is 100?
No, mine's 200.
200, okay.
Yeah. So like the ghost one though is like, ooh, that's a lot. So you can't have 2 scoops of that in a day, or like you'll start getting all like irritated and all that stuff.
It's such a terrible feeling.
Yeah. So one of the worst feelings I've ever done, which I want to bring this up to another point in a second, but one of the worst things I've ever done is I was in college and my caffeine tolerance was still really low, and I tried a espresso like Starbucks shooter thing back then, like a 12-ounce thing. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good, whatever. But then my buddy came over with the 7-Eleven dollar coffee that we would drink all the time, so that's like another 100 milligrams, and I drank the Starbucks one or the 7-Eleven one like just how I normally would, and the other one hadn't kicked in yet, and then all of a sudden I got like flush. I felt like so warm, and it was like past the point of like productivity. Like I had to lay down because I was just like, oh, I'm so like just buzzed right now. It sucks.
It's a terrible feeling. It's like you're sick to your stomach. You could throw up, but then you don't really have anything to really throw up.
Yep, exactly what it felt like. It just felt like my brain like wasn't like was moving slower than like my body, which is like how should be the opposite of that, Right. It's pretty funny. Okay, so this go to another. Do you have another thing, or want me to go?
No, go.
So this is something I want to start bringing on and doing the show. It'll be better with Kyle because we'll have an extra person, but it'll work with 2 people because and then trying to remember when I started this. Actually, I'll look while I'm talking. Did it stalling time, opening Twitter. See, now I'm getting hot again. Top. So me and my brother had this idea. This is like old top 5-ish. There it is. Dude, I still have the Twitter account. Follows me. 4 followers, following 21 people. All right, so the last tweet I did was 5/29 of 2011. Quick math. When is that?
8 years ago.
8 years ago, I created this account, right? Called Top 5-ish. And what our plan was to do basically what PMT does now with Mount Rushmore. Like, you only have 5 choices. This is what you do. So I don't know why this came up, but I'm like, dude, that's my like Twitter thing. What's going on? So I looked at it and I was like, we should do this on the show, but it's gun to head. We have to finish the show. There's no alternatives. You end at 5. So you would say 1. I would say 1. We'd make our list of 5, you know. Someone's getting something left off, but that's the list and we're stuck to it. So like, for example, today, I mean, I don't want to do any of the ones I already have, but like, actually, I don't want to use it. Oh, but anyway, we had it on Tumblr. Our site was on Tumblr back then, which is like MySpace 2 after. And we grew like a decent following on Tumblr where we would like post the list and it would get like retumbled or whatever the fuck it was called, like repushed and whatnot. And then I forgot what happened, but like we just stopped posting it. And then people were asking like, oh, you got any more lists? And then we just never did. We could have made so much money once those list sites got popular. Like this is pre-list sites, 2011.
Right.
Basically, I'm a genius. Again, I invented the mic drop and this. So I say today, top 5-ish list of best dinners that you make. No. Best dinners that you can have. So these are the last 5 dinners. If we only have 5 days left to live, this is our Monday through Friday. And you can go first, then I'll go, and then whatever we can remove one of ours for one of someone else's, and we'll end with 5.
Okay, you go first.
Well, I already know what mine's going to be, but it's just pizza. Good pizza.
Okay, then I got to do one.
Yeah, no, you pick one.
Street tacos.
Okay, I love street tacos. What meat are you doing with the street tacos? Carne? You going pulled pork? Or do we get a combo? Do we get 3 street tacos?
Yeah, dude, it's got to be a mix. Because like if I'm going, I'm getting the 3. You know, that's generally what you do.
Yeah. You get 3.
Yeah, and I'm doing like a pork, chicken, and beef.
Yeah, my favorite street taco is when you do like a smoked pulled pork the day before. You eat that for dinner and whatnot. Then you put it in the fridge, and then the next day you put a little bit of oil in the pan, get your pork in there, get a little crispy on there, and then make your street tacos with some of your smoked pulled pork. Oh yeah, that's how I do it. That's a good pick. Number 3, I'm gonna say spaghetti and meatballs.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
that was literally what I was gonna make. That's what I had. That's what I made for dinner last night.
So I think the main reason why spaghetti it has to be on there is just like if it's good spaghetti, it's like one of those foods that no matter what, any day of the week, temperature wise, you know, I'm eating it. I'm eating spaghetti. See, like this is where it would be good to have another person because someone's getting something kicked off the list right now.
Right.
All right. So right now we have spaghetti, pizza, and street tacos. No one's getting kicked. Man, now I want street tacos. That sounds good.
Dude, I almost got stuff for it today. I think I got tri-tip for dinner tonight. I'm gonna do up. I'm gonna say ribs, dude.
Oh, ribs. Ribs is good. So we have ribs. Are you going? So now, just to go off to another question, you going pork ribs or beef ribs?
Pork.
Got to. Yep, got to. Dry rub smoked, or are you doing something different?
Dried up. Yeah, I'm going spare ribs and dry rub because if you gotta put barbecue, like a bunch of barbecue sauce on your ribs, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm the same way about a lot of the meats. I do think that pulled pork, especially, one of my biggest pet peeves / like, oh, why'd you just do that? Is when people will spend a lot of time making like what looks like really good pulled pork, And then the next thing they do is after they pull it is just take Sweet Baby Ray's and start putting it in there.
God, dude.
And I'm like, again, if it's, you don't need it if it's good, and there's no real way to screw up pulled pork.
No.
But like if you want barbecue sauce, put it on your bun or put it on your side and dip it.
Yeah, dip it a little bit.
Yeah.
Same thing with like you cook a good steak, you know, and then they put in like then somebody just like A1 all over it.
Yeah.
I'm never cooking you a steak again.
Yeah. The other thing too with steak, which I almost put it on the list in my head, but I was like, maybe not as like a final meal. But the other thing with steak that's always interesting is when you get people who will like argue, no, you have to have it well done, or like, oh no, you have to have it like this. But it's just like, I mean, you can go and ask 10 chefs who are the 10 best chefs in the world is the best way to prepare a steak, and most of them will say rare to medium rare, like that perfect texture. Right. So like you are just, I'm not gonna ever cook it well done. Like, see you, I'm good.
Right. Even medium, I'm like, I don't even want this.
Yeah, the worst is when you'll just look away for a second and you're like, oh, I think it's probably good, and you take it off, and then you wait the 5 minutes and you start cutting it. You're like, son of a, it's medium. That's when you give it to your kid.
Yep. Poor dog.
All right, so this could be number 5. We're gonna have to argue over the last one here, but I'm gonna put in cheeseburgers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some smash burgers, dude, on the griddle.
So we're 5 for 5.
Yeah, not. Yeah, it's
the game will
flat top. Different story now.
I think the game will be better too when we do something more like so like we did top 5 shows ever like on TV. Like that's something you can more be competitive with. But like food is just food, you know, like right. All of those are really good. Yeah, it's a pretty good list. So top 5 list. So we got pizza, spaghetti, burgers, street tacos. What was the last one?
Burgers, pizza, street tacos, ribs.
Ribs. Dude, if someone's a vegan listening to this, they're gonna be like, ew, and ew.
Oh, this is I seen on the news, NBC Nightly News. I was waiting for the football game to start yesterday. That Burger King released that Impossible Whopper. Did you see that?
Yeah, so this is weird, but I kind of want to try it.
Dude, so it's all fake. It's like veggie burger.
Yeah.
Fake meat. So it's not meat. And they did the study, and they were like, yeah, it's not meat. It's gonna be healthier for you. Blah blah blah.
It's worse for you.
It's way worse for you, dude. It's way more processed. Has like twice as much sodium as a Whopper.
The cholesterol's higher too, I believe, right?
It's like 30 ticks higher. Way worse for you. You got to eat meat, man.
So, funny story that of like random things to happen. My dad on a flight to somewhere, he was sitting next to this guy and he was doing the initial like, oh, whatever, like whenever oh, what do you do? And the dude's like, oh, it's really weird. And he's like, okay, what is it? I think I might have told this on the podcast before. And this is just like 3 or 4 months ago. And it's like, oh, what do you do? And he's like, it's really weird. So I'm a food scientist, and my job now, I actually created the fake blood that comes out of Impossible meat, like vegan meat and stuff. And he's like, what? And he was like, yeah, so there's a lot of these places that will do Impossible like burgers and stuff on their menus, and then what I've created is like a vegetable reaction basically. So when it's like when you bite into it, that vegetable is like the texture and like the feeling of like when you bite into a burger and blood comes out. But then I was talking to my dad and I'm like, that's not what I mean. Maybe I'm weird, but when I'm like biting into my burger, it's not a blood taste that I'm like seeking. It's juice. It's like the fat and juice. It's not blood. I don't even eat medium burgers. Like my burgers are pretty well done, like I smash it and eat like, so, and then I was like, what a weird job. He's like, yeah, they told me how much he made. And I was like, what? He makes like over 6 figures just like formulating the blood that goes into Impossible meat.
That's disgusting.
Very disgusting. But to your point on the Burger King one, part of me does want to try it just to see.
So they were showing like in the fucking newscast or whatever, they like would tell, like you would go in and get a Whopper just as you wanting a fucking Whopper,
Yeah.
And they would give him the Impossible Whopper, let him eat it, and then be like, "Hey, yo, that wasn't a real meat,
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
dude." I'd like, and I'm not even kidding you. That guy. Dude,
First of all, should that be that? That's not real.
There's no.
That's
way
not true. That's fake.
That camera would get beat over everyone. Like, I'm not eating fake meat, dude. I don't even eat turkey bacon.
Well, here's the thing. What if something in that fake meat you can't eat, and then you just spit it to them and they die? That's fake.
There's no way that can be real. I'd be
fake.
so pissed.
No, it's for sure fake. Dude, that reminds me. There was something else I saw on the news the other day when I was looking to see if I was going to be on there, which I wasn't. I'm still upset about that. They used my neighbor down the street who just cucked my interview. Like, not cool. Anyway, now I've completely forgotten the point because I just got angry at my neighbor. What was my point? That they acted like something happened, and I was like, no, that's totally fake. Kyle and I literally did that before. Like, that's definitely fake. And I don't remember what it was, but it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was local racist left a derogatory message on a receipt and didn't leave a tip, and it was like one of like the lead-in story type things. And I was like, that is. I mean, if it is real, I'm sorry that happened to the girl. Like, shout out to you. I'm sorry. But Kyle and I did that one time, took a picture of it, and then like took a picture of the restaurant and then like literally ripped it up so no one would ever see it, like on accident, and left. Then made a post about it and it went viral, which I can say now. We pretty much admitted that almost everything we've done.
Everything we do is fake.
But like, they led the thing with it, and it again, what we wrote was like very long and like, you dumb hoe, like, and by the way, stop eating all the food in the back, fat ass, like that, like really mean. And obviously we didn't give it to anybody, but the one that they had on the news was just like it was just like something the wall, like fear the wall, and it was like a Mexican worker. And that was like what they gave them.
No, that's fake. I ain't believing it.
No, but that's how sad it was. Is that was like their third story. Like, it was like someone died, sad. Someone else died, very sad. And it was like, oh, and new today at 6, a local restaurant person like gets verbally or gets abused. Is this cross the line? Like, is this what Trump wants in America to be? And it was like, jeez.
Obviously his fault. Did you happen to hit up your text door neighbor?
Text door neighbor?
Yeah, text door neighbor, dude.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it later.
You gotta
so
do it.
Tell everyone how this goes, because at first I didn't know. When I was reading the messages, I came in late to the chat, and I'm like, who is Jordan talking to? Okay, so explain it to everyone. Because this is actually okay. Hold on, let's do this, Ken. If you do this, okay, this is what we'll do. If you do this, send us the screenshot to our Twitter of like your responses, and then whichever like 2 or 3 responses are the best, we'll send you some of this or a beer Z.
Boom, done.
That's what we'll do. Okay, so explain what's going on, because this is actually really, really funny. This is something that like people used to do back in the day when we started the website, where they would say like, hey, text one of your friends and be like, dude, I just heard the news, congratulations, and like screenshot their reaction. So that's so this is way better though. Go ahead.
So like your text door neighbor, I seen it this morning. I was freaking rolling it. There's some guy, he just started going viral. I don't know if you've seen it yet, or you probably will. Where let's say your cell phone number ended at like 8987. You would text 8988 and then like 8986. So you just basically add 1 and minus 1 off your last digit of your cell phone. So let's say your phone number was 123456789. You would just add 1 more digit to the last.
Yeah, good. Nice one, idiot. You can't type in 10.
Yeah, right.
You should have stopped at 7. Okay, keep going.
But so that's what you do. So take plus or minus 1 off your very last digit. Same area code and everything.
I'll read Jordan's too when you're done.
Yeah, you would just basically text him like, hey, it's your text door neighbor. What's going on? And see if you can get any responses. Apparently, my text door neighbors live in like a retirement community because they have yet to text me back. And I'm kind of sick about it.
So Jordan wrote, this is one of our buddies, after Ken explained this, he wrote, morning, and then the guy wrote back, or girl, morning, and he wrote, how's it going? And then he goes, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm your number neighbor." What name? And then he did a emoji that says, "Absolutely not. Just want to say good morning." Then he wrote, "Could you send me some funny memes if you're interested?" He goes, "Sorry, I don't have time to talk with you. Leave me alone, please. I have a nice day. Bye." Like BYYYYY instead of bye. And then this emoji, uh, the racist
The white power.
power. And then Jordan texted him back a meme from The Office. It's when Ryan walks in and he goes, "How's my favorite branch doing?" And then the meme is vegans getting excited for dinner. Like, great meme, by the way. And then the guy wrote back, "Leave me a line, please." And then Jordan wrote, "I don't think my text neighbor speaks very good English."
Well, then he texted the other one, and they called him, and he was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, they called him. I didn't see that.
The
Yeah,
one that's one lower below. He said, "Hey, text door neighbor," and then like the guy called him, and he was like, "Oh no, what did I do?" And the guy's like calling him.
Dude, I need to do it, and then like put them in a group chat with each other.
That's what they were saying. They're like, "Dude, add them into the group chat and have both your neighbors in a text cul-de-sac."
Did you ever see the thing? It was like this was like probably 2 or 3 months ago. This guy took just a picture of an Asian baby, and and then it was just like, "Congratulations to my kid, whatever. Like, so proud of him. Happy second birthday." And he literally put like 10 random people in it. Like, he didn't know any of them, and people were like, "Yeah, like, yay! Like, who is this?" I'm like, "Congratulations!" And then people were like, "Why am I on this chain?" And then there's the people that are on there that like don't know how to turn off, like, put it on like do not disturb,
Right, or block a number.
yeah, or block or leave a combo, and they're just like, "Remove me from this, remove me from this." Like, just kept posting like, "Remove me from this." They posted like another picture of a different Asian kid, and then it was like just thanking or like, "One, thank you for supporting me, yada yada yada." And then they were like, "Remove me from this, remove me from this," and people were like congratulating him and stuff.
Dude, we definitely needed to do more shenanigans like that. That shit sounds so funny.
I don't know if I ever told you was I planning. Oh, I was planning my own birthday party. Well, it was already planned, but I was like getting everyone in a group text because we're doing that cruise to UW. Like, we park and then like take the booze cruise over, and I had everyone's contact, or like I was my own friends, so like I had everyone's contact info. I thought, right, so I put this group text together. It was like the max. I think it was 10 people, and went to high school with a guy named Isaac. We always called him Ike. Like, literally, I don't know the last time I called him Isaac. I've always called him Ike. I assumed he was in my phone as Ike. I didn't look at the number or anything like that. So I add this guy to the group. I add Ike to the group, and then I write this huge long text that's like, "Hey, here's the plan. This is the breakdown. We're doing this. Then we're doing this. Then we're doing this. And then, blah, blah, blah. Then we're going to meet here, more drinks here, blah, blah, blah. Then afterwards, we're going out. We have a table at this place. Everything's reserved. Just show up. If you can't make anything early, here's the plan later. If you can't do anything later, get like, you're dead to me." Something like a joke like that,
Right.
And everyone's like, "Hell yeah, I can't wait." Like, "Woo, let's go, let's go." Like, I'll be there, like, woos and all this. And then Ike writes, "Hey, not sure who any of you guys are. This sounds like a fucking badass time. Like, really wish I could come, but again, don't know who any of you guys are." And then someone wrote, "Oh, I think he wrote, 'I believe you have the wrong Ike.'" Then he wrote that whole message. Then one of my buddies, because how all my friends are, one of my buddies was like, "Ike!" All these exclamation marks. He's like, "No, we totally meant to invite you. You gotta come." And then my other buddy was like, "Ike, it doesn't look like you have the right area code. I'll pay for your plane ticket." And then he was like, "Again, don't know who any of you guys are. Hope you have a badass time, but can you do this group combo somewhere else?" And then my other buddy was like, "Damn, man, that's cold." And then, so I go, I didn't see like any of this happen until it already happened. And then I got that pit in my stomach. I'm like, "Who is this? Who'd I add?" Luckily, it was just like not that much older of a dude, a guy I did some online stuff for, like a couple jobs is all, and I had his number. And I was like, I asked my wife, I'm like, should I send him a text? Like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." Like, and then I read the message again. I'm like, he clearly didn't save my number, Or I might have switched my number and like still had his in my contact, you know? So I'm like, no, I'm just gonna plead the fifth. I'm not gonna say anything. So I just started the same chat again, and then like added the right Isaac, and I'm like, all right, I have the right Ike this time. Everyone's like, boo, it was the old Ike.
And then, Isaac's probably like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, and then at the party, everyone just kept like bringing up like, hey, where's Ike? I think one of my buddies like even took a drunk picture like, Ike, where you at? Like,
and then send it back to the chat.
Yeah, send it back to the chat.
That's awesome, dude.
Dude, it was so funny too because it like happened so quick, and I was like, oh no, oh okay, whatever.
You just got. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it's like it's not like it was malicious or anything. Like it was a joke. It would have been funny if he lived in Washington and showed up though.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been good times. You got anything else written down? By the way, that top 5-ish segment, I felt like it fell flat, but I also feel like it was awesome and could lead to something fun.
Yeah, I think if we hammered it out and had 3 people, it could.
And if we did like some pre-planning, you know,
Yeah.
we pre-plan it a little bit, like, hey, we're gonna do, because do you listen to PMT at all? Part of my take. I personally think it's the best podcast other than ours in the world.
No.
It's Big Cat and PFT. That's kind of confusing, but no, there's 2 Barstool guys. They're number 1 sports podcast, like on the charts always.
Okay, but the Barstool, yeah.
Yeah, but they like they're really good at like, well, first of all, they do 3 podcasts a week, and they're very like topical, on the point. But then they'll do like interviews. Like they did an interview with Dr. Phil like 3 months ago, and they like just fill it in after their topical stuff. So like they always have a solid flow. But they do a thing that's really popular, and I always see it, where it's called Mount Rushmore. Everyone gets 4 for their Mount Rushmores of something, and that's like funny because you like they'll literally like argue with it and stuff. So they did like things that were mediocre. In PFT said, he said Kirk Cousins. He's like, that's perfectly average.
Right.
And they were like arguing about that. So for like 5 shows later, they were still like arguing about why Kirk Cousins is average. And his argument was like, he's the Toyota Camry of quarterbacks, like average. And I'm like, dude, that is so funny to just rattle off the top of your head.
That is good. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. But we'd never really planned much. That's all I had written down, though.
No, that was good. And I didn't promote my product at all, which is good. I don't want people to think I'm just selling out, promote my product everywhere. I mean, I wouldn't do something like that. I think that's scummy.
Hold the orange one up. Is that the?
That's the new label.
The Datarol. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Datarol.
Datarol.
Oh, dude, that's tight. It actually looks a lot better. So I can say this stuff now, dude, since people have already like buying it and stuff. So, like, look, that's what it looks like with the label and stuff on it. You know, like it's a pretty normal bottle. When it doesn't have a label on it, oh shit, I don't know if I can reach one. It's like half, you know? I mean, it still like looks full, right? And that's the same thing. But with no label, when they all showed up like that, I was like, oh no, it looks like I'm ripping people off. Like, what is this? And then I was like, oh wait, no, that's what it literally has to be. Like, there has to be space in it for it to all that stuff. I was like, I'm about to Lay's potato chip these people, dude. They're gonna be getting half a bag.
You just start cutting the smart stuff with flour.
Yeah, for real. Well, that's the thing. That's like one of the big things is one of the ingredients in there is, instead of putting like what everyone puts in their stuff to like fill it, I did something that's called it's called Vitafiber. Well, it has a super long name. Super long name is, well, I can't even say it anyway. But anyway, like I did the Vitafiber, and that's basically like a more pure version of nothing to like help it bind, but not like just take up space in your container. It's life, man.
Yeah. Well, should we wrap it up? I think that's about all I got.
I'm just thinking to myself really quick here. I don't know if I put that on the label, the Vitafiber. But they signed off on it though, so that the
formula company
should be fine. Should be okay. Yeah, that's all I got too. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Check out everyone on Twitter, Instagram, beerzy.com. Ken, you got to come up with the product, Ken. This is what we're doing now. We're doing the show just to pimp stuff up.
Just go for Ken is my Twitter handle. That's all you got. That's at this time.
Yeah, and then
don't forget to send us the best.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The best. Yeah. So do that. Again, too, for the 27-day miss, here's 2 in 1 week of episodes. So we're getting back. We're getting a routine again. We technically have a new setup too. We just haven't had time to set it up. So thanks for sticking with us for 240 already forgot episodes. And we did it.
Perfect.
We did it. So Ken, this is like kind of the rude part. I have to just, oh no. The rude part is I kind of just have to hang up on you because that's how it saves.
It's all good, man.
So this is goodbye.
Later.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
I'll text you. See ya.